Tom Selleck's greatest regret in life was not a career event or a failure, but the regret he felt for the moments he didn't get to spend with his family, especially in the early years of his son, Kevin, and daughter Hannah. A notoriously busy traveler, Selleck was often away from home because of long shoots, promotions, and the relentless pressures of Hollywood. His first marriage to Jacqueline Ray, which lasted from 1971 to 1982, ended in divorce, in part because he couldn't balance work and family. Despite adopting Jacqueline's stepchild Kevin and trying to be a good father, Selleck always felt like he missed out on important milestones in his son's life, from school plays to conversations about dreams and fears. When he divorced, he lost the opportunity to be with Kevin every day, and this left a deep wound. The sadness did not stop with his first marriage. Even when he married Jilly Mack in 1987 and had a daughter, Hannah, Selleck still had to deal with long trips, especially during the peak of Magnum PI. He once shared in an interview that there were nights when he returned from filming in Hawaii, he would sit alone in his apartment, look at a family photo, and feel his heart heavy. He wondered if he had given up too much. Fame, money, but left a hole in the hearts of the people he loved most. Although he tried to make amends later, especially by moving to a ranch in Ventura, California, to live a simpler life, the feeling of regret remained an indelible part of his soul. For Selleck, his greatest sadness was not failing in front of the camera, but not being there when his family needed him most. Tom Selleck's career has been a long journey of great success and bitter failures, but always defined by passion and dedication. He began his career by accident, when he was discovered in a Pepsi commercial in the 1960s. With his striking looks and deep voice, Selleck quickly landed small roles in films and television shows, but the road to fame was not easy. In his early years, he struggled with supporting roles in films like The 7 Minutes, 1971, and Daughters of Satan, 1972, often overshadowed by bigger stars. He once recalled that there were days when, after being rejected from an audition, he would drive home in his old Volkswagen, wondering if he really belonged in Hollywood. Selleck's breakthrough came in 1980, when he was cast as Thomas Magnum in Magnum P.I., a CBS television series. The role not only earned him an Emmy and a Golden Globe, but also made him a pop culture icon. With his Hawaiian shirts, distinctive mustache, and comedic bravado, Magnum won over audiences around the world. The series ran for 8 seasons, from 1980 to 1988, and became one of the most popular shows of the 1980s. The success of Magnum P.I. not only catapulted Selleck to the top of the charts, but also opened the door to film roles such as 3 Men and a Baby, 1987, the most successful comedy of the year, and Quigley Down Under, 1990, where he showed off his talent for cowboy movies. However, Selleck's career was not without its setbacks. One of the biggest blows came when he was forced to turn down the role of Indiana Jones in Raiders of the Lost Ark, 1981, because of his connection to Magnum P.I. This decision, though not his fault, had been working on for years. He once shared that when he watched Harrison Ford on screen, he felt a little regretful, wondering if he could have brought something different to the legendary role. Another failure came in the 1990s when he invested his heart and soul in the film Christopher Columbus, The Discovery, 1992, but the film was heavily criticized and failed miserably at the box office. After the stressful press conferences, Selleck returned to his hotel, sat alone in his room and cried, not because of the criticism, but because he felt he had failed his team and audience. Selleck's efforts in his career came not only from talent, but also from sacrifice and display. He once worked 16 hours a day on the set of Magnum P.I., often filming dangerous action scenes without a stunt double. Once, when playing a veteran in the TV series Friends, 1996 to 2000, where he played Richard Burke, Monica's boyfriend, Selleck spent weeks studying the character's psychology, even consulting with real soldiers to make sure his character was real. The scene of the breakup between Richard and Monica, where he had to show the anguish of a middle-aged man giving up on love because of generational differences, made him cry for real after the director shouted, "Cut." Those tears were not only acting, but also because he remembered the losses in his life, especially the breakup of his first marriage. After Magnum P.I., Selleck continued to build his career with memorable roles in Blue Bloods, 2010 to present, where he played Frank Reagan, a tough but compassionate New York police commissioner. The series ran for over a decade, becoming one of CBS's most successful television series, and this allowed Selleck to fully realize his potential in the publishing world. However, even during this period, he still faced challenges, from scheduling conflicts to the pressure of maintaining his image as a veteran star. Every time he stepped in front of the camera, Selleck brought his heart with him, and that is why he is still loved by audiences after 5 decades in the industry. The achievements that Tom Selleck has always strived for are not just fame or awards, but being an artist who can inspire and leave a lasting legacy. From his early days in Hollywood, he dreamed of becoming an actor who could tell stories that touched the hearts of audiences. One of his greatest assets was playing Thomas Magnum, not just because of the awards, but because the character became an icon of the 80s, representing freedom, loyalty, and the spirit of the 9-star. He once said that every time he met an audience member who said they grew up with Magnum P.I., he felt like he had fulfilled a dream. Selleck also aspired to leave his mark through roles with depth. He did not want to be remembered as just a star with a famous mustache, but as an actor who could portray complex human stories. His role as Frank Reagan in Blue Bloods was a testament to this ambition, as he brought a tough yet likable character, a father and leader who fought to do the right thing. The film was not only a commercial success, but also received critical acclaim for the way it explored social issues such as morality, family, and justice. Selleck is proud that Blue Bloods has become a part of audiences' lives, along with Reagan family meals becoming a symbol of togetherness and love. In addition, Selleck has always strived to be a man who lives up to his values. He is one of the few Hollywood stars who remains private and does not get caught up in scandals or gossip. He has turned down many roles that do not fit his personal ethics, even if they bring money and fame. He is also actively involved in charity work, especially supporting organizations for children and veterans, because he believes that an artist has a responsibility not only to bring joy, but also to contribute to making the world a better place. For Selleck, the greatest ingredient was not the number of films he made, but the way he lived, with honesty, humility, and love for his family. Love and marriage were both beautiful and challenging chapters in Tom Selleck's life. His first marriage to Jacqueline Ray began in 1971, when he was still a young actor struggling to find his place in Hollywood. Jacqueline, a model and actress, accompanied him through the difficult times, but the pressures of Selleck's career and the differences in their lifestyles gradually drove them apart. He adopted Kevin, Jacqueline's son, and tried to be a good father, but the busy schedule of Magnum P.I. made it difficult for him to be with Kevin. When the marriage ended in 1982, Selleck felt he had failed, not only Jacqueline, but Kevin as well. He once shared that, in the days after the divorce, he drove alone on the streets of Los Angeles, wondering what he could do to make up for the hurt he had unintentionally caused. The sadness of his first marriage did not stop Selleck from believing in love. In 1984, he met Gilly Mack, a British actress, while she was performing in the musical Cats in Los Angeles. Selleck was drawn to Gilly's style and energy, and they quickly fell in love. They tied the knot in 1987 in a secret ceremony in Nevada, a decision that would have kept their private lives private from the prying eyes of their company. Marrying Jilly gave Selleck a second chance at building a happy family. The birth of his daughter Hannah in 1988 was one of the happiest moments of his life, but it came with its challenges. His schedule for Magnum, PI, and other projects kept him away from home. And although Jilly was supportive of his career, Selleck could not help but feel guilty about not being there more for his wife and children. Still, the marriage to Jilly proved that a loving situation could overcome any challenge. Together, they moved to a ranch in Ventura, where Selleck found peace after a busy year. Jilly, with her intelligence and fighting spirit, helped him balance work and family, and Selleck often said that she was the firekeeper of their home. Although they were not without their ups and downs, like any couple, they always managed to mend and build a strong marriage. For Selleck, Jilly was not only his wife, but also his confidant, who helped him overcome sadness and find meaning in the simplest things. Tom Selleck's greatest pride, but also the source of his deepest regrets, was his children. Kevin Selleck, born in 1966, was Jacqueline Ray's illegitimate child, but Selleck adopted the boy and treated him like a tiger. During Kevin's early years, Selleck tried to be a devoted father, but his busy schedule prevented him from being there for Kevin as often as he could. After tea,